Hello, everybody, and welcome back to MJ Games. I am Michael, and welcome to another park tour. As this was recommended to me by a subscriber, who wanted me to check out his creation, and this is called Maize and Blue Funland. And for those of you who love college athletics here in America, you'll recognize as we kind of go through this that everything's themed around University of Michigan. But this is created by Rockin' Rob 72, and the quick description says, coasters tangled together like snakes, fun creation, fun little park, enjoy a cruise on the Ann Arbor Express, and there's been a new kids area that has been added to the park. And as it says, this is a lot of crazy coasters that are snaked in and out. So I will be giving feedback on the coasters, and some of it is going to be geared around realism, because that's kind of my forte when I build coasters. But the idea is, if you're building without realism, then hey, it's all good. But if you're wanting to try to build more with realism aspects, then that's what some of the tips and hints are for and stuff. But as you can see, some really impressively massive coasters, if that's the correct way to phrase that, that are in this park and using a lot of the Alpine map too. Look at that water feature. Oh, Maddie would be so proud. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started with the tour. We are here in the front of the park at Maize and Blue Funland. And as you can hear, we got some music going on. So it's about to be a dance party or something. Some EDM. And so I think this is the train that goes around the park. So we're going to look at this park part at day, part at night. And as the creator said in the description, like the coasters are all kind of tangled around like snakes and stuff. And so this is not meant to be like the most realistic park in terms of the coaster design and everything. It's supposed to be a fun park, and you'll see in the daytime how it's pretty impressive. Everything being Michigan colors, and as we can see, we got Harbaugh, so Jim Harbaugh, the head coach. If there are any Michigan fans watching this, I would love to know, before last year, were y'all wanting Harbaugh still coaching? Because it had been a while before he took you guys to where you wanted to be. And hopefully you guys can get back there again this year. I don't dislike Michigan. I have my dad went to Illinois, so I don't cheer for Michigan, but I'd much rather them than Ohio State. And so this is called the Blue Raptor. So for those who don't know, University of Michigan is a big time football program here in the United States. Oh, that's cool. And they've got a lot of tradition, and so their colors are maize and blue, this kind of yellow and blue. So everything, the Blue Bombers, is that a nickname given to them at some point? Because I don't recognize that one. But it's cool how you got stuff that's kind of almost looks like it's blowing up, and then you've got the lightning strike over there. And I like this little vending machine area. It looks good. So we got the the transfer portal. Oh, that is fantastic. Essentially in college sports now, because they're allowing, well, part of it is because they're allowing college athletes to earn NIL money, essentially name, image, and likeness. So businesses, not the school, but businesses can work with the school to sponsor players and stuff like that. And essentially it's kind of turned into free agency. As a college basketball player, got guaranteed $400,000 for the next 2 years with a car. So it's kind of crazy. Plus people jump in the transfer portal because they don't have to sit out a year anymore. So Blue Pride, and I guess this is the first coaster that we're getting to. And let me see, is this a coaster we should ride? I feel like I'm trying to see, day or nighttime. So as we can see kind of in the daylight, we'll ride this one in the day. Some of them we might ride at night. We'll ride this one in the day. So let me actually go down here and look at the station. I don't want to gloss over that aspect. You know what? Using these lights, I love seeing you use these lights because more people need to use them. I feel like they're not that big of lights, but look at the amount of light it gives off compared to a lot of the other coaster lights. That's pretty awesome. Now, one thing you could do, and I don't know if you know much about this, is creating block sections, because you've got this really long station here. And we can't remove the railings because there's no way for us to get mods here on console like PC does. So what I would suggest, and I can kind of maybe point out some afterwards, is having a couple block sections. Like in this spot here, you could straighten this part out and have it be a quick block section or something like that. Actually, no, that's after the first hill. But yeah, so you kind of can put block sections in the coasters, and I actually have a tutorial video over that. Um, Plus other YouTubers do as well. But that's my one suggestion for what I see here at the station, because then you don't have to make the station as long. And so since this is a dive coaster, let's go ahead and ride this in seat view. But we need to sit in one of the middle seats, so seat 5. All right, so that was the first coaster, and I think it's pretty good in terms of, there are a couple areas that maybe need a little bit of smoothing. It's a fun coaster. A couple things you could do here as well to kind of limit the supports is you can go into the edit mode and you can, let's see if I can show you an example. So what you can do is, oh, hold on, what time is this? Okay, 2300, so I gotta know when the fireworks. So you can turn track supports off on every other one. And let's see, let's get out of this camera mode. And then it makes it look a little bit more neat, because that's more what you'd see in real life. So you don't have as many track supports, and then you can do that kind of going throughout the ride when needed. And in the future, as you get more advanced at the game and stuff, for stuff like this, when it's over the track, you can create your own custom supports. That's something else, that can be done to kind of add that realism aspect to it. But this is definitely, in terms of kind of design, you normally don't see dive coasters ever with a drop like this, but I thought it was pretty cool, well done. Like I said, a couple areas that needed smoothing, but overall, really, really enjoyed that coaster. Now let's go back to nighttime. Yeah. And so as we go throughout this review, like I am going to give my input here and there in terms of like some realism aspects that can be put into the coasters. But overall, like I know this is created not as like, oh, trying to make a ultra realistic park. It's about making a fun park. And so there is no right way to play the game, no wrong way to play the game, right? It's whatever floats your boat, however you want to play it. So I think sometimes we get caught up in, oh, it's got to be played this way. I know it's like that with Jasmine sometimes, where I'm like telling her, hey, you should do this, and she's like, I don't always have to make it as realistic as like theme parks. So it happens. So this is another coaster called Go Blue, which, by the way, one thing I forgot to point out, this up here, for anybody who's wondering what this is, I believe this is supposed to be like the sign, essentially, where when the football team runs out of their stadium, there's this banner kind of hanging that they are on the field, they kind of run and jump up into. And wow, that is a massive drop. And the park's really well lit up. Ooh, it's a dangle foot. Okay. Okay. What was this one called again? Oh, it was just called Go Blue. So Chrysler Tower. I don't get that reference, but I'm sure it has some kind of... Where's Chrysler Tower? Oh, that goes to... Oh, that goes to that one. I was wondering. I was like, that other one doesn't look like a tower. But that looks like a tower, so that makes sense. I do love the lights that you put here. I think it really lights the path up well. And then you've got these lights that are, yeah, so those are, I think, are the emergency lights, which is why they're doing that, but it still looks good. And we got the dangle foot coaster. Maybe the only thing I can suggest about the interior here is maybe adding some cross beams. Because, technically there's nothing supporting this coaster track now. So you could add some cross beams and connect a couple beams to the coaster track. But let's go ahead and look at this as it's an inverted two-seater boa. Wait, that doesn't look like a boa. That's not a two-seater, that's a four-seater. Oh, you switched out trains to the rival trains. I was like, what is going on? Okay, that makes sense. So boa coaster track, but with rival trains. So stats are really good. Everything's all green. G-force is definitely high with lateral. You want to try to keep them under 3, at least to my knowledge. Which has, just the side-to-side movement of the coaster. 4 inversions. How tall is it? 102 feet. Yeah, so it's good average size for an invert coaster. Let's ride this one in. All right, so that was Go Blue, and I'll be honest, not as big of a fan of that one. I think there was way too much time spent on the side or upside down like that when, once again, sometimes when looking at parks, I'm so used to building with realism when it's like, okay, how to, trying to approach the aspect that everybody creates their coasters differently, like I just talked about. And so I feel like it was, especially for, it wasn't a super tall coaster, but there wasn't really any other hills outside that first one. So it went really quick kind of around these first couple elements. But this is awesome. Iron Matty, if you are watching, this is right up your alley, man. Look at that. That is an amazing waterfall. I gotta see what that's like in the daytime. I mean, that's astounding. Wow. Yeah, see, look how fast that's flying through, and then you're on the side like that. That's a little bit too crazy. So, like I said, wasn't too fast through there. So, wasn't my favorite of the two so far. But that's just my opinion. So now, let's head back this way. We'll look in the daytime for a little bit. Another thing you can start adding to is anytime you walk underneath a piece of track like this, putting a little covered walkway as like as protective covering and stuff. It's funny how in the description it says that there's a kids area added. I couldn't imagine a kids area in this park. So Maize Flight. Sorry, I had to adjust the seat by me. And then we got the Professor Worst, the Bratwurst. Man, I haven't had Bratwurst in a while. That sounds really good right now. I like this building. It's a nice little building. So we got a boat ride. No, it's the train. Okay. So we'll have to kind of go along the train tracks in a little bit. Yeah, I think a lot of the foliage works pretty good. Some of it's a little repetitive in terms of kind of right there and stuff, but overall I think it's pretty good. We got the championship rings, or champions ring. Okay. Oh, that makes sense for the Hellion ring or whatever the thing's called. That's clever. So the Wolverine. Oh, that is a really cool look, though, going up that lift hill. I'm going to go ahead and pause it right now. Man, there's nobody trying to go on the ride. let's see what the reasoning is. Oh, it's in test mode. That would be why. So once again, all green stats. Yeah, G-force is definitely too high with laterals and verticals. Um, Max speed 71, height 180 feet. Yeah, I mean, the views on this coaster look awesome. 4 inversion, 6 airtime hills. Definitely ready to ride this coaster. There we go. Once again, I would say adding some beams here inside the station would be a good thing. And remember, whenever I get feedback, if I'm talking about realism, if you're not focused on realism or anything like that, don't worry about my feedback then, because I'm just going based off that. I think the two main areas in this coaster that had caused the G-forces to be way too high are this first drop, because it doesn't level out early enough to where it gives your body essentially a chance to come back down to Earth and stop floating before you go right back up again. So the G-forces are too high there. And then this part here, that is way too small of an inversion for how fast you're going. So that really is that part went through too quick. But other than that, I think it was pretty good. It's really interesting. It's like it's an intense ride at first, and then you get around this area, and then it's almost like it becomes a little bit leisurely. And that outward bank too as well, something that you're starting to see RMC do it a little bit, but not to that extreme. Because I even did an outward bank on a coaster, and then because I thought I was kind of modeling what I'd seen in a POV of one, and I checked that POV out again, and I'd banked it, overbanked it a little bit too much. And then it's almost like it becomes like a leisure coaster as you kind of fly around the area. It looks like we got another RMC over here. Okay. So really, really interesting. Like I said, I mean, these are some crazy coasters. So it's just interesting how you did the layout design and everything. It looks like we got a coaster over here that we don't want to miss. Okay. Oh, we got a tunnel. You know, I like that you even colored the trash can maize and blue color. That's really cool. So let's head under this way. Yeah, so next park that you create, the two things with the station would be learning how to do block zones with your coaster so that your stations don't have to be as long. And then kind of adding some cross beams and stuff for some structural support. Because I like how you've done the outside, and even though some of them are the same, like you've kept you kept it all the same kind of design and style, which is cool. Yeah, that was a really smooth coaster. There was one part at the beginning I think needed a little more smoothing, but after that it was really smooth. And there's one part that was almost disorienting with how much you were kind of hanging on your side. I was like, wait, I don't know which way's up, but good job. One thing I would do too is I would take. Oh, that's a window piece. Well, I would take the haunted house pillar, and I would cover it or color it that same color, and I would create borders here. Because it always looks better when you add a little bit of a border onto your sides like that. Let's get the HUD off the screen. Gosh, that Ferris wheel always looks good. The kind of color of it and stuff really, really looks awesome. Well, was the only way to get over there on the train? Okay, I see how it is. Oh gosh, which way? We're going this way. So I think we just have one, maybe two more coasters in the kids area to look at. But these are definitely some really insane, massive coasters. So also, I think my favorite part of that, I love the drop. That second drop was really well done. Like I said, coaster was smooth as well. Ooh, blue scream. So we have some fire, like the lights here. We'll take the fast pass. Looks like that one's also in test mode. Is that the Rage coaster? Yeah, that's the Rage coaster with only 3 rows. Okay. That's different, to say the least. But it looks like you did that so you could use a smaller coaster train. Or smaller coaster station. Okay. Looks like we got a little bridge. We got the lighting. We got the little operator's booth there. All right, there we go. I think after the first hill, which that's a little bit too tight once again, that was my favorite ride. I think it was well done. Either that one or the dive coaster. You know, there are some nice hills over here. Um, One thing I want to point out, because it looks, and you'll see what I mean with how it looks when you're riding the coaster. So I'm going to edit this just a little bit because I want to go over an example and, um, hopefully just try to have a little teaching moment. So let's see. So let's delete that. Yeah, so there's nothing wrong with having it kind of be this steep of a drop. But essentially what you want to do is what I might do is do about 67, then go to 78 or 81 or ooh, a 90. What coaster track is this? Hold on a second. Okay, I didn't know the Gigas could go to 90. Or the Rage coaster. Okay. Um, it's the shaping of the top portion of that's not quite as great. So maybe I'll just shorten it and have it kind of be like this. Actually, you know what? We'll just keep it like that for now. So then this would go to 78. And then what you're going to do is you're going to shorten this and you're going to slowly go 1 or 2 notches each time. Which this is not quite going to work out because of that other coaster there, but we're not going to worry about it right now. And then do the same thing as it's coming down. You go up 1, maybe up 2 at that point, and then here, and then you can kind of... So it depends on what type of airtime hill you want as well. Do you want a floater airtime? Because this would be more floater because you got more time going over it. Or what you could do is when you get to this point, you could then have it let's see. So I'm not used to doing these as much. You could do something like that that's a little bit less of a floater and a little bit more ejector. So yeah, that's my quick small suggestion is make sure you give enough space. And then what you can do is you can take this and you can take the whole thing and smooth it out if you need to. Because the whole point is you don't really want more than one piece of track to be the same degree measurement. And so you see how it rides differently too as you go down the hill. It doesn't, because if you go down the hill the way you had before, it's almost like it flattens out at some point. And we don't want it to do that. So let me try to see if I can erase this far enough back. There we go. But yeah, that's just my quick suggestion. I think it's, like I said, I think some of the airtime hills over here are really well done. It was a fun coaster, especially these parts right here. So really, really enjoyed that. Just try to give a couple helpful tidbits here and there because, if I like honest feedback too when people are looking at my parks. So it looks like this is the part of the train. I almost said twain. Part of the twain. Once again, keeping the same building style, building colors. Is that the Bavarian pieces? Yeah. Really, really well done. And okay, looks like we got one more coaster. It's the Bar Heist. Or the Infinity Coaster. Let's see which one is it. Yeah, it's the Typhoon Bar Heist. Oh, I like how you got the little walkway there. It's really well done. Nice. A very interesting coaster and stuff. And 3 lift hills. That's impressive. It's like, it's really cool, though, how you have kind of weaved a lot of your coasters in and out, and you've created these really, really long and intricate track designs. And I think the beginning of the second area here, might have been my favorite individual part of any coaster because of going through the trees like this. And you feel a little bit more secluded than you have on some of the other rides. So that's my suggestion on that. Golly, look at this just pit of coasters right here. Just pit of coaster track. That's insane. I think you actually have 4 different coasters that are kind of weaving in and out of this area that are all colored the same. Oh, and then the train actually goes around. Interesting. Because you did say this was called the Ann Arbor Express. Nice. You got bridge. Yeah, so we've looked at everything except the kids area. And another thing too is kind of maybe adding a little bit. Oh, I see you've done it there. So you've done a good job with terrain paint there. Is there like same thing? You could use a little more terrain paint in some of these areas, even though the guests won't see it. That still is a spot that people who download your park and look at. Oh, nighttime we gotta go to the fireworks show. This is one of the best fireworks shows I've seen. I was about to say, it better not be done. All right, I think that is the end of the fireworks show. That was impressive. And as my dad would always say, ooh, ah, I've never seen fireworks. That is impressive. Look at all the fireworks over here. Oh my. I've never actually used fireworks in this game, so I just can't even fathom how long that took and the process of using that many and sequencing it. That just sounds so insane and tedious at the same time. So here is the kids park. So you got to take a train to get to the kids park. So we got the nice Ferris wheel. Looks like the University of Michigan wheel. There's the drop zone. We got Ann Arbor Express, which is that train. Blue sky chairs. We got the Yoast ice cream or ice run. I'm guessing that has to do with something in Ann Arbor. Oh, that looks really cool at night. They got the octopus. Then over this way, oh, looks like we got a little kids coaster. Cool. So this is going to be the last ride of the park, the Lab Rat. Oh, that is a intriguing name for it. So let's go ahead and ride the Lab Rat, as it is the spinning wild mouse. Love the music, by the way. It's funny this is classified as a kids coaster. But I guess it makes sense. Oh, it goes through twice. Oops. I think other than maybe that last turn right here, I think it was really good. Like, look at the spinning. So like let's look at this off ride, or let's do the orbit view or something. So the spinning is done really well. It spins a little bit there, but it doesn't necessarily overdo it. And then it stops, kind of goes the reverse way. You know, maybe a little bit more spinning once you get to that part. But I think that's pretty good. It's not overdone. But yeah, really, really enjoyed that. And so now one last kind of overview of the park as we wrap this up. You know, once again, some crazy, crazy, insane coasters. Um, it is just like he said, a mess or a snake of track, as all the tracks are weaved in and out of each other. But yeah, I did really enjoy looking at this park, and I enjoy the theming of keeping everything within the University of Michigan style. So good luck to your Michigan Wolverines in this upcoming college football season. Once that gets underway, hopefully they win every game except when they play Illinois, which I'm sure they'll beat Illinois because Illinois is not good, or at least hasn't been good recently. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to leave a comment and hit the like button. And if you enjoy the content, make sure to subscribe. And the link is to the link to this park on the workshop is in the description below. So make sure you go check it out and subscribe and hit the like button. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.